Project management must support the higher vision of the organization the project management activities are occurring in. Projects must be in line with the organization's vision, strategy, tactics, and goals. Projects that are not in line with the higher vision of the organization won't be around long, or at best, they are doomed to fail. At the launch of a project, the project manager must have inherited the vision of the project. They must understand why the project is being created and what its purpose in the organization is. It's beneficial to also know the priority of the project and its impact on the organization. A project to install pencil sharpeners throughout the company's shop floor may be important, but not as significant as a project to install new manufacturing equipment on the shop floor. A project is an uncertain business. The larger the project, the more uncertainty. It's for this reason, among others, that projects are broken down into smaller, more manageable phases. A project phase allows a project manager to see the project as a whole and yet still focus on completing the project one phase at a time. Projects are temporary endeavors to create a unique product or service. All projects must have an end date. Between the project launch and the coveted end date, a project will pass through multiple phases. Consider a project to create a new electronic gadget. This gadget will have several phases to complete, from concept to completion, product description, prototype, revision, testing, and so on. The completion of each phase brings the project closer to completion. Think of any project you may have worked on: a technical rollout, constructing a building, integrating a new service into a business. Each of these projects will have logical phases that move the project from concept to completion. The sum of the project phases comprises the project lifecycle. A project lifecycle is the duration of the project. Consider our project to create a new electrical gadget. Once the gadget is completed, has passed testing and regulations, the project doesn't continue. It's done. The life of the project is over, and the goal of the project, to create a unique product, in this case, has been met. There's no reason for the project to keep going, so its life cycle is over. Every phase has deliverables. It's one of the main points to having phases. For example, your manager gives you a wieldy project that will require 4 years to complete and has a hefty budget of $16 million. Do you think management's going to say, "Have fun, see you in 4 years"? Oh, if only they would, right? Of course, in most organizations, that's not going to happen. Management wants to see proof of progress, evidence of work completed, and good news of how well the project is moving. Phases are an ideal method of keeping management informed of the project progression. At the end of each phase, there is some deliverable that the project manager can show to management and customers. Once a phase concludes, how does the project manager know it's safe to continue? Based on the size and type of the project, some form of scope verification must take place. Management and customers will want to see if the deliverables you have completed to date is in line with what they are expecting. Let's go back to that juicy project with the $16 million budget. We know management is not going to set us loose for 4 years. They'll want a schedule of when we'll be spending their money and what they'll be getting in return. And when will this fun happen? At the end of a project phase. The verification of the performance and the project deliverables will be key to management determining if the project, cross your fingers, should continue or not. Imagine your project worth $16 million has produced a loosely deliverable outside of the project scope, and you've blown more than a few $100,000 more than what you said it would take to get to this point in the project. Do you think the project will continue? An analysis by management will determine if the project should be killed or allowed to continue. The idea of killing a project at phases is why phase completion is also called a kill point. Kill point for the project, not the project manager. Project phases are also known as stage gates. Stage gates are used often in manufacturing and product development. A stage gate allows a project to continue after performance and deliverable review against a set of predefined metrics. If the deliverables of the phase or stage meet the predefined metrics, the project is allowed to continue. Should the deliverable not meet the metrics, the project may not be allowed to pass through the gate to move forward. In these unfortunate cases, the project may be terminated or sent through revisions to meet the predetermined metrics. The completion of a phase may also be known as a phase exit. A phase exit requires the project deliverables meet some predetermined exit criteria. Exit criteria are typically inspection-specific or scheduled events in the project schedule. You know you are moving toward completion when management and customers agree with the results of a project phase. Each project will have its own logical phases to completion. Imagine you're the project manager for a project to build a new house. There would be some very logical phases to completion of the project to build the house. For example, requirements. What type of house are you building? What are the characteristics of the house? What are the expectations from the people that will be living in the house? Design. The architects and the designers would work with the requirements to create the specifications for the house in alignment with the requirements of the customer. Building. Within this phase, there would be logical activities in many phases necessary to reach the project completion, such as the foundation, the framing, the roofing, and so on. Inspections. Before the homeowner moves into their new home, they'd want to inspect the house for the quality of the building and confirm its functionality. Operational transfer. Oh yes, the home is complete and the homeowners have moved in, approving the project and thereby heralding its ending. Each phase within the preceding project has logical activities that dictate the point of the phase, the goal of each, and what the deliverables of each phase likely will be. At the end of each of these phases, there would likely be an inspection and confirmation that the project is moving towards its completion. The completion of a phase allows a project to move into the next phase.